Okay, picture this. You're looking down from high above, an aerial view soaring over the dense, absolutely endless Amazon rainforest right at sunrise. There's this thick mist rising above an ocean of green jungle. And if you look closely, hidden somewhere beneath those giant, ancient trees, stone ruins are just barely visible. For generations, you guys, this exact misty, untamed landscape was the ultimate obsession for explorers from all over the world. I mean, they were chasing a dream. They were looking for a city where the streets literally glittered with gold, where temples were covered in precious metals, and where the kingdom was so wealthy its ruler would cover his entire body in gold dust. Thousands of people risked absolutely everything to find it. And most of them, well, they never returned. They vanished into that green abyss forever. So, welcome to our explainer. Today, we're diving deep into one of history's most enduring and honestly, most deadly legends. So, it brings us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? Did El Dorado ever actually exist? Or was the single greatest treasure hunt in human history built on a massive, deadly misunderstanding? As we kind of follow the maps of the past today, I want you to keep this question in the back of your mind. How exactly does a rumor become a destination? And how does that destination lead thousands of people straight to their doom? All right, let's dive into this. Section 1, The Legend of El Dorado. To really wrap our heads around the madness, we have to step back into the 16th century. The Spanish conquistadors had just conquered the mighty Aztec and Inca empires, claiming unimaginable wealth. We're talking entire rooms filled to the brim with gold and jewels. But crazy enough, this didn't satisfy them. Actually, it fueled an insatiable hunger. They became absolutely convinced that even greater wealth was just waiting out there. So as they pushed beyond the mountains, fully expecting to find another sprawling, golden metropolis, they encountered a strange story from the local indigenous people. It wasn't a map to a city, though. It was just a rumor. And this rumor? It was the spark that ignited a centuries-long fever. Section 2, The Real Golden Man. So, the truth of this legend originates far, far away from any imaginary city. It starts at a breathtaking, dawn-lit body of water in present-day Colombia. Now, we've all heard the term El Dorado. In Spanish, it translates to the Golden One. Notice that phrasing, the Golden One. When this legend first started, it was referring to a newly crowned ruler of the Muisca people. It was a person, not a place. This is an absolutely crucial distinction that completely reshapes how we look at the historical accounts. Just imagine the scene for a second. It's dawn at Lake Guatavita. The water is perfectly calm, acting like a giant mirror to the sky. A newly crowned Muisca chief stands on a wooden raft, and his entire body is coated in fine, shimmering gold dust, until he practically glows in the morning sunlight. As priests surround him, the raft sails out into the center of the lake. He tosses precious raw emeralds and golden offerings into the deep water to honor the gods before diving into the freezing lake himself. This sacred, truly breathtaking ritual is the factual seed of the whole myth. The Spanish called this mysterious ruler El Dorado. But, stories rarely stay static, especially when they're fueled by greed. What followed was a tragic, historical game of telephone. The story began with a golden man, but as the tale traveled from village to village and from explorer to explorer, it warped. The man became a golden king. Well, a king needs a domain, right? So it grew into a golden kingdom. Finally, it mutated into an entire city of gold. With every single retelling, human greed inflated the myth, turning this beautiful, sacred ceremony into a frantic, impossible destination. Section 3. Into the deadly Amazon. The fantasy of a glittering city of gold was intoxicating, for sure, but it collided violently with the brutal, muddy reality of the jungle. The dream completely blinded these guys to the immense danger surrounding them. Imagine being a Spanish conquistador wearing heavy, authentic 16th century steel armor, hacking through dense, unyielding vegetation under a scorching tropical sun. The humidity is literally suffocating. Deadly snakes are hiding beneath the leaves, and poisonous insects are swarming the air. Their supplies vanished almost instantly in those harsh conditions. The starvation became so absolute that men were forced to eat leather strops, tree bark, and eventually even their own horses just to survive. It was a nightmare. And as exhaustion just destroyed their immune systems, diseases spread like wildfire through the muddy camps. Entire expeditions, we're talking hundreds of men at a time, simply vanished without leaving a single trace, totally swallowed up by the dense green canopy. Yet, despite this absolute disaster, the rumors of El Dorado didn't die with the men. Strangely, they continued to grow. Every single failed expedition somehow just inspired the next one. Mapmakers kept drawing the Golden City in different locations, pushing explorers deeper and deeper into the unknown.
Section 4. Draining Lake Guadalquivir.
While some perished in the deep Amazon, others focused on the one place they knew for an absolute fact held treasure. In the 1500s, Lake Guatavita became the epicenter of the fever. They knew the Muisca ceremonies had happened there. They knew offerings were in the water, so they attempted the absolute impossible. They decided to literally drain a mountain lake. I mean, think about that. Hundreds of indigenous workers were forced into grueling labor, digging massive trenches and channels through the surrounding hills just to pour the water out. It was a frantic, monumental effort driven purely by obsession. The expectation was staggering. They truly believed that as the water receded, they would uncover sprawling, golden palaces and streets paved with precious metals hidden beneath the waves. But as the lake level dropped and the Spanish explorers frantically dug along the muddy shore, the discovery was, well, sobering. They did find pieces of gold, beautiful emeralds, and ceremonial artifacts buried in the wet earth. This was absolute proof that the sacred rituals had actually taken place. But there was no city, no palace. Just fragments of a forgotten culture, buried in the mud. Section 5. The True Treasure. As centuries passed, the digging stopped, and the jungle finally reclaimed the lost expeditions. A realization dawned. The search for a golden city had redrawn the maps of South America and cost thousands upon thousands of lives for a place that never even existed. You know, perhaps the true treasure was the remarkable civilization of the Muisca people themselves, their traditions, their beliefs, and the stories they left behind. Legends almost always stem from a small, glowing piece of truth. The tragedy of El Dorado is that the explorers were so blinded by their greed for metal, they entirely missed the incredible human history staring them right in the face. The real value wasn't in the gold dust, it was in the culture that held the gold dust sacred. It really makes you wonder about the nature of all our historical searches, doesn't it? Sometimes the greatest mysteries are not what we actually find, but what we continue searching for. So ask yourself, what other ancient mysteries still remain hidden right now, waiting to be understood rather than just plundered? Mysteries hidden high up in the clouds? Kind of like the lost city of the Incas. And actually, that is exactly where our journey is heading next time. Join me for our next explainer as we ascend into the Andes to uncover the secrets of Machu Picchu. Until then, keep questioning the legends.